best version of yourself, which is something that I feel is very important. Like, for instance, this year, I decided to adopt a more positive attitude. But unfortunately, I forgot to feed it, and it's dead. And so, but I'm also inspired by what other people do. I was reading in the news in Germany a couple years ago, somebody stole 5.5 tons of Nutella. 5.5 tons of Nutella. I remember reading that article and I was thinking, I am not living up to my full potential. Can you imagine the end of that movie, by the way, that heist, and all the guys are sitting on the beach eating their Nutella? We did it. We can retire. Reading another story about a man in the States who fought off 12 police officers, which isn't a big accomplishment, but there are a few things you have to remember. One, he was high on drugs. Two, he was completely naked. And three, while he was fighting off 12 police officers, he was masturbating the entire time. Isn't that incredible? Again, I read that story and I'm thinking to myself, my God, I never done anything that cool. One time, I ate 12 donuts while masturbating. That's it. That's it. But I'm trying hard, though, to make myself a better person, you know? Trying really hard. And I wish there were things about me I could change. Like, I wish I had hair. That would be kind of cool. All right? I wish I had a sexier voice, you know, like Patrick Stewart or Stephen Hawking, or somebody. I wish, and I wish I was in better shape. You know, I was reading online about this new diet, a tube diet, where they put a tube up your nose and you lose weight. I remember when I was at university, we called that cocaine. When I was all fancy. Another important thing is to know your limitations, to understand your limitations importantly. Like, for instance, I think I'm aware of my limitations. Like, for instance, God once spoke to me. This is true. He spoke to me, but I didn't have my hearing aid in. So I don't know if I'm supposed to blow up Dusseldorf or blow Hasselhoff. But the important thing is to recognize that I do have a hearing impairment. I was born with profound hearing loss, hence the excellent accent you're hearing. And I wear hearing aids. And this is one of my stories I love to tell, is that I moved to Poland a long time ago, and I had a hearing test for my new job at the time. And this was the moment when I realized that Poland was going to be pretty special. If I went to the hearing test for this physical with an interpreter, a translator, and she was with me, and they said, you're going to have a hearing test now. And because I spent my whole life doing hearing tests, I was expecting, like, they put you in the soundproof room, they do the high-tech headphones and everything. I'm like, so I'm prepared. I'm like, great, no problem. I've done this before. And they bring me into a room. It's an empty room with a desk and an old woman, a nurse there. And she goes, we are now going to do the hearing test. I'm like, okay, all right. Where's the room? And I'm like, okay, now please walk up to the wall and face the wall. So there's a wall here, and I'm sitting there. And my translator stands next to me. And the nurse, the nurse is on the other side of the room. And she goes, Swishishnaya. And this is the best part. My translator goes, can you hear her? I thought they were playing a joke on me. I'm like, yes? Talk. I'm like, okay. And so this is the hearing test. So I knew Poland was going to be special for me. Another thing that's important for your dreams is to stay ahead of the curve. Ahead of the curve. I like that. It's one of those English idioms we have, ahead of the curve. You know, I was looking at idioms, comparing Polish idioms with English idioms, you know, and I kind of think, I don't want to make this a whole Polish versus English thing, but I do think that English has some advantages. Like some idiom that you have, for instance, is that if you make money, if you're the one who makes money for the family, in Polish, you bring home the bread. But in English, you bring home the bacon. Bread, bacon. I don't know. In Polish, if something is particularly easy, you say it's like bread and butter. And we say piece of cake. Or easy as pie. Cake, pie, bread. Just saying. If you're daydreaming, you're thinking of blue almonds. I like that one. You're thinking of blue almonds. But we have the pie in the sky. Blue almonds, which I think would give you food poisoning, or pie. I think we win. But staying ahead of the curve is important. I discovered that I'm not ahead of the curve in a lot of things, but I discovered that in one big issue, I was really ahead of the curve. Online, I was reading about this really interesting study that says that for people who masturbate to pornography are more likely to accept or support gay marriage. And I'm like, I've been supporting gay marriage since I was 12 years old. Sometimes I supported gay marriage 4 or 5, 6 times a day. I was really ahead of the curve on that one. I win. There's another study about masturbation. It's kind of weird. That said that people who masturbate too much suffer from 3 major things. The first one is severe memory loss. The second one is never mind. Another important thing to find your dreams is, of course, to keep up with the latest technology. And a lot of people like to use Facebook. I'm pretty sure some of you are using it right now. Facebook. They said that there was a study that said that people look at and update their Facebook status more often every day than people look at the Bible, which kind of goes to show you that's what happened when you don't update for 2,000 years. Another study said that people believe that updating their Facebook status is better than sex. Better than sex. Which kind of told me that I need to stop updating alone. Because seriously, I'm doing it wrong. But, Facebook is weird, 'cause I think people's behavior on Facebook is really completely different than real life. And I think you know this, but I just think it's weird, like, the things that people say on Facebook. Like, I was reading someone posted, "I am against cancer." And I'm thinking, is there anybody who supports cancer? Like, I think we all agree that cancer is bad. So we don't need to tell people I'm against it. I think there are 3 things we can all agree that we're against. We're against cancer, we're against rape, we're against immigrants, okay? We can all agree on that, right? Oh, shoot. The Pope recently said that the internet was a gift from God. I love that expression. He's a gift from God, which goes to show you he never looked at the reader's comments. The reader's comments is the worst thing about the internet. Just don't read the comments, right? I was reading this article about Taylor Swift, and it said that last year Taylor Swift had dated 36 men. And I made the mistake of scrolling down into the comments, and people were like really shaming her and just saying really awful things. And I'm thinking, how hypocritical is that? Taylor Swift dates 36 men, and people say that. Meanwhile, if I dated 36 men, people would just think I'm gay. Your dream job is also important, knowing what your dream job is. I love that, like in interviews, they say, "What is your dream job?" And people like to be cute, like, "Oh, I'd like to open up a bakery." There's nothing. I'm like, really? It's your dream job. Dream job, you could be anything. Me? I want to be a unicorn farmer on the moon. That's my dream job. Have your bakery, whatever. And talk about superpowers. If you could have any superpower, what would your superpower be? You know, people think about that, you know? People are like, oh, I'd be Superman or Batman. But, you know, you have to look at, like, where they came from. I mean, in order to get those superpowers, that meant that everybody you love had to die, right? So forget that. So I tend to go to the Marvel heroes, but then that's a problem. Like, I can be Spider-Man. But that means that I have to be bitten by a radioactive spider. Okay, well, I'll be the Hulk. Oh, I have to stand next to a gamma bomb while it explodes. Sounds kind of painful. Well, Fantastic Four. Oh, I have to go into space and be assaulted by cosmic rays. So if those are my options to become a superhero, if that's what I have to take to become a superhero, I guess my superpower is going to be cancer, which, by the way, I'm against. Okay, just so we're clear. But anyway, but personally, if I had to pick a superpower, I would want to be bitten by a radioactive lawyer. That way I'll have the power of attorney. Aw, come on! I work hard on this shit, people. But also the most important thing, though, is in order to understand your dreams and everything, is that you have to be aware of a very basic fact, and this is important, that most people tend to forget or ignore. You are going to die. Okay? We all have to recognize that, right? And so, you know, and life is strange and unexpected things happen. There's an article about this couple in Africa that they went into a bush to have sex, and while they were having sex, a lion came and attacked and ate the woman while the boyfriend ran away. And I'm thinking, wow, that is why it's so important to have a safe word. Also, a couple years ago, in the world's largest orgy for senior citizens, 7 people died. One person during the orgy started to have a heart attack, and while they were helping him, someone else got freaked out, had a heart attack, and it's just this domino effect of heart attacks, you know, which I'm telling you this is kind of important, you know. We should give our grandma and grandpa a call sometime. You know what I like about this? For a split second, you all just imagine your grandparents having sex. Uh-huh. You're welcome. Also in Sweden, a woman found a bunch of IKEA bags, and inside those IKEA bags were 80 skeletons. 80 skeletons. I always wondered what happened to those people who couldn't figure out the maze. Think about it. But the final point, the most important thing is to recognize, of course, that anything is possible. And I like to kind of point out a few dreamers that I've read about online. Like, for instance, the man who walked into a store and tried to steal $1,200 worth of meat inside his pants and leave the store. I'm thinking, wow. I hope, and this is true, I hope that there is something in your life that you love as much as this man loves meat. Another thing is there's an interesting story about a guy who tried to smuggle turtles, 51 turtles in his pants through airport security, 51 turtles, and of course he got caught. And I think we can all agree here that he went one turtle too far. Yeah, that's what you get when you get greedy. A couple months ago in America, a man had kidnapped an infant child, and he was busted. He was caught because he tried to trade the baby for 15 Big Macs. 15 Big Macs. It's a true story. 15 Big Macs. What, is this baby made of gold? Another story that has to do with McDonald's is a woman in the United States in Virginia who was standing at the drive-thru, and she was basically asking people, if they ordered her a cheeseburger, she would have sex with them. If I spoke cheeseburger, sex. And I love this story because it combines two of my favorite things, cheese and burger. Oh, shoot. Anyway, that's my time. Thank you very much. My name is Christian A. Dumais. It's been wonderful. You've been a great audience.
Thank you so much, Christian. That was brilliant. Don't forget to follow him on Twitter at Drunk Hulk. He needs over 200,000 followers, yes? Okay, we are going to follow up with 5 minutes of exercise. We want to get you moving so that you actually work up an appetite. I'm starving after all your mention of bread and cake and pie and bacon. And yeah, we're going to get you up and get you exercising with Physio Team. But let me just remind you very quickly that we've got the Dream It Yourself hashtag wall here. We've got a dream wall outside where you can show us your dreams. We've got a dream corner where you can chill out, and don't forget to network and get your human bingo and your dream team sorted. Okay, Magda.
Thank you. Are we all awake? We're all out there? Yeah? Silence response. Okay, so we're going to wake you up. So with the Dream It Yourself team, we've been working for the last couple months.